Alrighty, looking at page 18 and 19, I just want to go over a couple things really quickly. Alright, so it talks about on page 18 about parallel versus perpendicular lines. So parallel lines, parallel lines have the same slope. And then a different y-intercept, okay? And then perpendicular lines, and just so you know, parallel lines have a symbol that look like that. Perpendicular lines have a symbol that are like that. These have negative reciprocals. The slopes are negative reciprocals. So slopes are negative reciprocals. So for example, if one of the slopes is 2, the other slope would be negative, and then you're going to flip it, so 2 over 1 would become 1 over 2. So those are going to be negative reciprocals. So looking at number 1, don't forget in the form y is equal to mx plus b, that m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. So here I have my slope, and here I have my y-intercept. Here I have my slope. Here I have my y-intercept. So your m for the first equation is going to be 1/4, and your m for the second equation is going to be -4. All right, that only works when you're in the form y equals mx plus b, so you might have to rearrange some stuff to make sure that they're all in that same form. Keep that in mind as well. So now we're going to work with this first one first. So I'm going to do this one in the pink, and then I will do this one in purple so you know the difference, okay? All right, so first I'm going to go to my y-intercept, and I'm going to plot that point. Notice we're counting by 2's. The graph is not counting by 1's, so keep that in mind. So we're going to go to -4 and plot our y-intercept. All right, so m is equal to rise over run. Okay, so for this one, I have 1/4. That means, to do that, I would have to rise 1, so I'm going to go up to this point here, in between the -2 and the -4, and I'm going to run 4. So I would go 2, 4. Therefore, this would be my new spot. I went, and it should line up, that's a little bit high, but it should line up with in between 2 and 4. All right, and keep in mind my lines might look a little bit off because my spacing on my numbers is guesstimated, where the spaces between the numbers on your graph are exact. So please keep that in mind as well. Then you connect the dots, put your arrows to represent that it's a line and it goes on forever, and then you label your graph. So this is y equals 1/4 x minus 4. And then you show that is your line for that graph. All right, so now let's graph the other graph. So same thing, first go to your y-intercept, which is this time it's +4. So we're going to start at +4. And our rise over run is equal to -4 over 1. So in this case, we're going to go down 4, then over 1. And then we're going to go right 1 because the 1 is positive. So think about it that way. So down 4, right 1. So I'm going to go down 2, down 4, bring me to 0, and I'm going to go over 1, which will take me in, to the point 1, 0. So I plot that point there, and now I graph these lines. Notice here, obviously it's not exact because, again, my drawing is approximated because it's hand-drawn. However, these lines are perpendicular. -4 and 1/4 are negative reciprocals. So we have perpendicular lines here. And of course, as always, we're going to label this one as y is equal to -4x plus 4. And then you show me which one you're talking about. And that's all it is. So you plot your y-intercept, then you use your rise over run to find the second point, and then you connect the lines. Don't forget to label it so I know which one is which. Keep in mind some will be parallel, some will be perpendicular, and some will just be intersecting lines. So yeah. Alrighty. I hope this helps.